Every day when a man goes out, he encounters a car accident, but he is never in a hurry to save the person. Instead, he rushes to the middle of the road to get the nail, because he opened a car repair shop on this remote alley. The nails on the road were secretly buried by him in the middle of the night. Every time there is a car passing by, it is likely that the nails buried by him will explode, and the unlucky owner can only be forced to come to his shop to repair the car. Originally a man who can't even afford to support himself. Therefore, he led his wife to live a life that is bigger than meat every day. But as the business in the shop gets better and better, the man gradually becomes greedy. Even if his father-in-law comes to repair the car, he still has to earn a lot of money. Until one day, a woman who drives a luxury car came to make up for her pregnancy. She met a rich man. She asked for 3 times the repair fee. Although the woman did not agree, she took advantage of the nearby repair shop to live alone. She decided not to go back and went inside. The wife hurriedly caught up with her and asked her to pick it up as soon as she saw it. Then, she politely asked the woman if she wanted to drink cold tea. The wife said so. She couldn't make it difficult for him anymore. Finally, she agreed to repair the car at twice the price. When the man was repairing the car, the woman sat next to his wife to rest. At this time, the woman who was taking a cold shower quietly. She saw her husband's white and tender skin, and the top bag that she had never seen before. She couldn't help but look at it. A little envy could be seen in her eyes. The woman saw that the man was working on the doll. She was curious and asked. The man hesitated for a moment. She answered with no confidence. The woman was very surprised. She didn't expect her income to be so low. She turned around and didn't answer again. She saw the woman's awkward expression. Shunning lowered his head and tried to avoid the other person's eyes. So the woman took out a 10,000 yuan banknote from her wallet and gave it to Shunning. She bribed Shunning with a doll and let her rest for a day. But the woman's help made Shunning even more depressed. She even began to hate the rich woman. Looking at the 10,000 yuan banknote in front of her, she felt that her dignity was greatly insulted. When she was about to pay the bill, she had to double the price on the basis of the price she had negotiated, because she changed both front wheels of the car. The reason is that the tires must be symmetrical. As soon as the rich woman heard it, she didn't move. She wanted to have a good talk with the rich man. But Shunning suddenly came over and harshly interrupted the rich woman. The rich woman was so angry that she had nothing to say. She didn't want to argue with them anymore. So she opened the trunk and took out a bag of money from a box full of cash. She gave the money to the rich man. When she left, she deliberately mocked the couple. The couple said something to the rich woman. The wife's mentality was clearly shown on them. But they didn't know that their fate was about to change because of the rich woman. A few days later, the daughter of the rich woman suddenly disappeared. A large number of police officers came to her house to handle the case. Can be seen that the status of the rich woman is not ordinary, because it is common for the children of rich people to be kidnapped in a kimchi country. So, the police asked the rich woman if she had a holiday with anyone. Although the rich woman has money, she is usually very low-key. Thinking about it, she recently had a conflict with the couple in the repair shop. That night, the couple was about to go to the road to sprinkle nails. Suddenly, a group of police officers surrounded them and forcibly took away the wine. The wine in the interrogation room was found buried under the nails. At this time, she was shivering all over. But when she was about to confess, the police suddenly threw out a picture of the rich woman's daughter. She just knew that the police had caught the wrong person. But the wine was still detained for 2 days. Her house was searched by the police all over the country. In the end, because there was no evidence, the wine was released innocent. But during this time, the wine was always afraid of being found buried by others. So she can't sleep every day. She remembered the reason why she opened a repair shop. Originally, she just wanted to live a stable life. But I didn't expect that a few months ago, the town began to build a resort. At one point, there was no private car on the road except for the big truck. Her repair shop was, therefore, not only out of business, but also forced to sit at the door with his wife all day. Under the influence of the wine, he ran to the construction site to find the developer's theory. The developer's boss was the woman who went to his shop to repair the car. So the wine was deliberately targeted at her. But what is the identity of the rich woman? The daughter's missing. Police officers have to come to the door to handle the case. And the wine went to the construction site to find the rich woman's theory. The other party only needs a phone call. She should deliberately make trouble and be taken away by the police. For the government, there are financial groups to invest in the small town. They usually have to welcome the guests face to face. They won't accept the wine to take a small gas repair shop. After being taught a lesson by the police, she can only look back and go home. She found that she just broke a very small switch. She spent 200 yuan to change an old one. But she didn't know that the owner had already negotiated a repair fee of 3,000 yuan with another repair shop, so she accidentally ruined someone else's business. What's more surprising is that the owner of the repair shop the next day came to find her with a small flute. The rich woman didn't want to make trouble. She got up and wanted to leave, but the boss deliberately knocked her down. He pointed at her nose and called her a loser who couldn't even afford a wife. When he heard this, the rich woman was furious. She had never fought before, but she fought with him on the spot, because what the boss said hurt her. He has been married for 5 years. He has been living with his wife for a long time and can't afford to pay the rent. The old man also looked down on her because he had no money. He had asked Shunning to divorce him many times. Even at family gatherings, he never called her. The rich woman had no choice but to buy a gift for her father-in-law and took the initiative to attend. But as soon as he walked to the door, he heard his wife's family talking bad about him. Hearing these words, the rich woman was too ashamed to go to the party again. She kicked the gift she was going to give to her father-in-law. When she turned around, she happened to see a car tire being punctured, and it was because of this repair that the wheel of Zaijiu's fate was about to start spinning. After changing the tire for the guest, she saw the iron sheet that punctured the tire. She had a bold idea in her heart. That night, she found a lot of irregular iron sheets and secretly sprinkled the iron sheets on the road. The next day, there was indeed a repair business in the store. But when the fat man took the money, Shunning accidentally saw a lot of cash on the other person's car. The fat man generously gave Zaijiu a few more small bills. The couple who made the money were both very happy. This is the biggest deal in the store in recent months. Shunning's face was smiling, but at the same time he was also curious. Why would the civil servant have so much cash in his car? The two were just curious and didn't think much. But what they didn't know was that their fate would change because of the fat man. In the future, in order to increase the success rate of breaking the tire, Zaijiu stayed up all night and beat the iron sheet into a triangle. But the day he was sprinkling the iron sheet on the road, a hand suddenly placed on his back. The couple were both scared by each other. They found out that their husband was recruiting guests in this way. Shunning firmly opposed. Because the car driving at high speed suddenly broke down, it was easy to cause a car accident. But Zaijiu took the money he made these days to paint a bright future for Shunning. More importantly, they got married for 5 years. Because they didn't have money, they didn't even dare to have children. In the end, Zaijiu promised his wife to buy the money to repair the store. Shunning reluctantly accepted his husband's approach. The next day, Zaijiu set up a brand with a speed limit of 60 on the side of the road. He began to work hard. As the number of iron sheets increased, the business in their store became better and better. At first, Shunning was not very happy, but he saw a lot of money coming in every day. He soon couldn't hide his excitement. Until the story began, Zaijiu was taken away by the police. Because his stepmother's daughter was missing, he realized that he would be in jail for a long time. Moreover, they had already earned enough money to buy the repair shop. So after much consideration, Zaijo decided to wash his hands. But he didn't wait for him to explain his idea to his wife. His wife suddenly asked him like a little girl, "Honey, yes? How long can I live without being caught?" "Who?" "The girl from earlier. Do you want to live like that girl?" Seeing his wife longing for wealth, Zaijo couldn't bear to break his dream. So he hid what he wanted to say in his heart. And in order to make the business in the store more popular, they gave up the iron sheet. Then they used the expansion screw to directly knock the nails into the concrete road. In this way, the efficiency of breaking the tires will be higher. They don't have to come out every day to sprinkle nails. But it's hard to pull out the nails that are buried in. Of course, they have to spend the money. This is the first time Shunning has burned his head in 5 years of marriage. The boss knew that he asked on purpose. "It's been a long time since I came, but I didn't give you any nutrition. It's originally 40,000 won, but I'll give you 80,000 won. Shunning, who used to wash his hair only with soap, said this now. "It's not much. Please do it." After having money, Shunning's vanity became more and more intense. His huge change was accidentally seen by the boss of another repair shop. "Oh no, it's wrong. It's wrong. Oh no." Shunning didn't know at the time. This was the beginning of their winter window incident. When Shunning was burying nails alone on the road that day, the old king secretly watched by the road. After Shunning left, the old king came to the middle of the road with a flashlight. At a glance, he saw the nails that Shunning had just buried. The next day, when Shunning came out of the supermarket, he found that the old king was waiting for him at the door. Shunning, who has always been bullied by the old king, didn't want to talk to him. But the old king said something shocking to him. "Just go. He can't hear you. Shall I tell the boss? Put the cement in a box. I'll come back if you come back." The old king's words were like a bang. He made Shunning sleepless all night. He finally got a rich life. He didn't want to lose it like this. So he asked his husband what if someone found out that he was burying nails? His husband answered firmly. Then he had to stop this behavior. Immediately, hearing his husband's firm answer, Shunning decided not to tell him about the old king. In order to continue making money, Shunning went to the old king alone the next day. And the old king on the other side really parked his car outside the suburb and waited for him. Not long after, Shunning also came to the suburb of Marin. At this time, the grass seemed to be greener. Even the water turned green. Even on the husband's head, a green frog somehow jumped up. Fortunately, Zaijo didn't know that his wife did this to him. He thought it was over. But when Zaijo was working that day, a loud noise suddenly came from afar. He hurried to the scene. It turned out to be a car accident. Zaijo couldn't save him. He ran to the middle of the road, without hesitation, and buried them with pliers. But at this time, a man came down from the car. Coincidentally, this man was a government official who had been to their shop to repair cars before. Zaijo saw that his wife didn't dare to move, and when Fat saw Zaijo, he also became short of breath. They didn't dare to speak to each other. Fat seemed to have done something wrong. He didn't even want the car. He turned around and ran back. Zaijo thought he was found. But when he ran to the side of the car, he suddenly heard the sound of the trunk. Later, he found out that the woman in the trunk was his wife's daughter. But Zaijo was lucky. Not only did he bury the nails, no one noticed. He also became a hero to save the girl. He even indirectly helped the government find the political drug. At the same time, many journalists wanted to interview Zaijo. In order to thank Zaijo, he generously gave him 100 million Korean won as a reward. The rich Zaijo took his wife to buy and gave himself a new car. Finally, he broke the 5-year dry period, but he didn't even have a car. The consumption of the two was no longer enough to eat and wear warm. They had to go to a high-end restaurant to eat. The waiter would come to the side of the room and pay the bill. This kind of supreme enjoyment greatly satisfied their vanity. In order to regain the lost face, Zaijo deliberately parked the car at the entrance. Whenever an acquaintance passed by, he would press the lock button. The alarm sound of the car made Zaijiu feel a sense of superiority that he had never had before. But his high-profile approach soon caused Wang's dissatisfaction. Wang suddenly found Zaijiu. "Hey, just go to hell, you son of a bitch." Wang's words were like lightning. He pierced Zaijiu's brain for a moment. He finally understood why his wife always went out alone recently. So he rushed into the bedroom and took out the black money they had earned and burned it. His wife tried to stop him, but in Zaijiu's eyes, his wife was not crazy about money. After a dozen minutes, Zaijiu lay on the ground. Because of the pressure of life, especially the discrimination of his wife's family to Zaijiu, he forced her to choose the way to make money. First, Shanying was against this kind of dangerous and immoral behavior, but he saw a lot of cash in the account and his desire for life for his wife. His attitude gradually changed. Even in order to continue making black money, he was willing to sell his body. However, Zaijiu, who was about to go astray, in order to let his wife live as she wished, still went further and further on the wrong path. Later, he learned that he was wearing a green hat and he finally came to his senses. At the end of the story, Shanying was crying and packing up the money scattered all over the place. He felt that for a better life it was right to do this, but Zaijiu tried to pull out the nails they had buried on the road. He wanted to stop this kind of wrong behavior and return to normal, but what they had done was like nails buried on the road. No matter how hard he tried, these nails, which represent sin, could never be pulled out again.